So now we're in the authenticate method, we're in the public interface method, and you can see here that we've got our public interface function, and this is what the main merx.go file is calling whenever it receives a connection. So you can see it's passing in the HTTP request and then a writer that it's going to use to work with. So we don't really care about the specifics of this. I'm just kind of giving you an overview. But the first thing we do is we connect to the database. We read the internal HTTP request that we received. So down here toward the bottom, or on the file here, we've got our if we don't receive an error when we're connecting to the database, then we go out and we get if we do receive an error, then we turn around and reply back that we had a database error. Otherwise, we look to see if we got a get or a post, because those are required. And then we come down here and we call this authenticate client. Now, all it's doing is it's passing over the database connection and then the request that came through. I'm going to split the screen here. And so that authenticate package is actually inside of the common folder. So we'll go into common authenticate. And so you'll notice here that all it's doing is it goes out, it looks at the HTTP request that it received, and it grabs the account information and the dealer key and the BSV key off of it. Then we turn around, if we're missing anything, we reply back that we're missing the key. And then if we have the key, then we continue. And so the first thing we do is we select the BSV key to make sure that they have a valid key that they're requesting with. If we didn't, we reply back that it's an invalid key. If it is a valid key, then we go and we grab the dealer's information to see what their criteria is. Now, the dealer's a little bit different, because if we don't receive a key with the dealer, then we're going to actually create a key for them and return that key with the package. If they did send a key in, then we're going to make sure that it's a valid key. And if they were to send a bad key in when they had already made the request, then the system will return bad keys. So it's making sure that that dealer, if they don't have a key, it's only one time. It generates a key and returns it. It's up to the BSV to actually hold that key for the future communications. And then from that point forward, they'll just use that key to continue to send purchase order data or whatever it is that they're doing. So at this point, we're not concerned with the packaging or what they're trying to do. We're trying to authenticate them to make sure that they're valid. So down here at the bottom is where it actually looks and says, hey, we didn't get a key, so go either update the dealer credentials table so that we can keep track of the last time they communicated with the server and where they communicated from, and then otherwise we'll go out and actually create a new key and save that on there along with that updated information. So the authenticate process is pretty straightforward. Now, once we get them authenticated, which is what's happening here, when it comes back, we're going to have a code, we're going to have a dealer key, a dealer ID, and a BSV key that all came back from that request. And so this just looks to see if we had any errors. And then this is where the magic starts to happen. So now we have authenticated the user, and the next thing is we want to handle the package. Now, at this particular point, we don't really know what the package is. We're calling a generic function here to handle it, and then we're going to let it make up its mind what is going to happen. Now, when that thing comes back, it's going to give us the results and whether or not we had any errors or anything like that, and then it will return that JSON object that gets built. It will return it back to the client. So they can, they'll get back whatever the protocol says they're supposed to get back based on whatever that package was supposed to do. So in the next video, we'll go through what handle package does, and then we'll start to delve into some of the actual packaging of the system.